For a long time was a great filmmaker. He was a major filmmaker. Today even Spielberg is becoming more like an independent. He's not, so all this movement of where films are and where they represent, it's very different. And the little one with space before, don't have space anymore. And I know if you saw me talking about the last few weeks, my last film, the feature film I entered in Sundance, and when I realized, when people told me that the reality for independent filmmaking today, who enter a festival, or just send $100 to be entered, there is 30,000 people who enter a film. 30,000 people enter Sundance Film Festival. So you can be sure that the people who are going to get in, or even not going to get into the first level, because there is 3 or 4 levels, it's all the people who know people, who were connected by, production house. So what we're talking about, a world of pushing away all the more independent and small film to have a monopoly, basically. And you know that Netflix and all these people are getting together, building the big studio. They're not making big studio to show you good film. They're going to produce as fast as they can a lot of different things. I don't know if you watch TV. I watch TV often just by curiosity, but it's a machine. You watch series, one after the other, and this is what they're going to do. They're going to do this because it brings them money. They have the same team of people. It's a little bit of the studio of the 20s, but differently. So today, we don't have too many good films coming out, and when they are, they're very special, and we try to show it, whatever we can. So it's for this that this is really to go back, not to go back, to look at what good cinema was, or is today, and it's talking about all these films. So this place is going to be like really center of all kind of different film. It's going to be now, on this Thursday, is going to be 3 Iranian films. So this is the first film that you're watching from the Iranian film series, that I show already a very bigger Iranian film series in Montclair, and there is 3 films. The first film is this one that you're going to see, Majiji, who is 1997. You're going to see Taste of Sherry of Abias Kiarostami, who is another masterpiece of film, so it's another big guy of the Iranian cinema. And the last one is The Separation. The Separation won the best foreign film in 2012. So you have these movies who are from the world of cinema. We're going to bring it here, and people can discuss it and look at it and be able to understand better what cinema is. But it's a little bit more connected on understanding what the film of the country and what the place is than to go and sit down, watch a movie and stop it there. These are reactive movies. They create a reflection on you, and of course there is a discussion who is going to make you think about it and make this in relation with everything that we are living today. I don't need to tell you that Iranian film today is really what we have to watch, because we are in this like political problem and war, So what I find, and I say all the time, and I say it always when I talk about film, this is the tool of peace in the world. It's cinema. So people say, what are you talking about? If you watch this film, and you're going to watch this film, or if you watch any film from a country, you understand everything. You understand their culture, you understand their language, you understand how they connect with each other, you understand what is this and who are they. In general, when you don't know about people, it's when hate starts, when you don't know about them. There is a very funny, not funny story, but something was really interesting. Japan has very, very small, or practically inexistent Jewish population. I don't know if you know, there is a very tiny little percentage. It's one of the most anti-Semitic countries in the world. So it's really funny because there is no one, and they still build this hate. It's just a fact. It could be anywhere else. So when you don't know a culture, it's where things happen. So this is an open for the culture. Of course, school will not show something like this, but because of this film, and Iranian cinema is a cinema who has been working on the reality, but very poetic. So it's film originally made with very nothing or very little budget. They made on human being. Everything that you are watching, the Iranian film series we watched, it was Gabe, it was all this kind of film were very human, and this is one of the great human films. This is one of the first films who had international acclaim, you know, the Children of Heaven in 1987. Talk about social, political, human things, storyline, every element who makes a good film, but with very little, it's difficult to do. Film, more you have tools, and easier it is. Easier it is, I mean, to entertain people, you know, I mean, Michael Bay, I don't know if you know Michael Bay, you know, with that blowing up cars and everything else. You sit down and you want to see, it's like $250 million, people are really entertained, it's easy to do. But you do a film like, I take all the time this example, My Dinner with André, Louis Malle, a masterpiece of cinema. But a masterpiece of cinema was nothing.
A restaurant.
A restaurant. Two people talking in a restaurant. And I remember very well because when I was starting into film, people told me, you should watch this film. And I said, what is this about? They told me, these two guys, they go to the restaurant and they talk. I said, they talk? He said, yes, they talk. Yes, they talk about an hour and 30 minutes. I said, you think I'm going to watch a film of two guys talking in a restaurant? And I sat down, and an hour and 30 minutes passed like it was 2 seconds. And I said, how great is that? Because that is what film is. Film is the difficulty to create with nothing, something. And if you have all the elements to do, then you do like big TV studio, you do big star, and you'll be able to fill up, and you fill up everything. So really the Iranian film series, movies, started in the 1960s, after the French New Wave. Talking about the French New Wave, you have, and this is very academic a little bit, but you have the neo-realists who start after the war, with De Sica, Rossellini, Visconti, and you will see Fellini, you will see La Strada here, and all this really base of like, we want film with a message of life, with a message of society, with being able to put things together and show what real life is. This is what the neo-realists, no professional actors, even so, you know, I mean, he had a couple of Fellini, but most of the neo-realists did not have any professional actors, and a way of looking at this in a very simplistic ways, and very strong message, political and social. So this is really what makes the big revolution. From the neo-realists, we went to the French New Wave, continue with the same way. They took non-professional actors, they took like shooting on the street, natural light, and at the same time of the 60s was there, the Iranian, and I don't know if you know anything about the Iran, you know, Iranian culture. In 1953, there was somebody who was in the government there, you know, like the man, he was not the Shah, he was not the Ayatollah Khomeini, they were very European. Iran is a very European country in a lot of ways. I mean, if you watch a film about Tehran in 1950s, it's like you are in Paris. You know, people are wearing their clothes the same way. It's a very open-minded, very intellectual, very well-versed. They have a culture of poetry, of drama. They have a very beautiful culture. So in this, they're connected with the 60s very, very well with the French New Wave. And after this, you know, the Shah came, they pushed this. And even so, during the Shah years, he did not have this censorship that we have it now. So the 60s, we're going to bring all this new way of looking at it. A non-professional actor, I was saying, and looking at all this kind of thing. And of course, the two guys that you want at the end, Abiyat Kiarostami is really the most important film director, you know, Iranian film director, and Al-Qurra Farhadi is the one who won the first time the best foreign film. So, poetic realism, social critique, but through children. So these are people who are so extraordinary with children. If you remember, like, you know, a film like The Bicycle Thief. Bicycle Thief, this little kid is a master, unbelievable, you know, actor. Then you're going to see the same things, that they're doing the same thing. The neo-realists are going to be very close to this. He's going to take things. Now, instead of a bicycle, it's going to be shoes. But it's a very little thing, it's something of every day, and how the whole world is going to run around these shoes. So you say, what kind of film is going to be this? You know, this is what's so interesting. This is the talent of filmmaker. A filmmaker takes a story, very simple story, and makes something which is going to really touch you emotionally. Cinema Paradiso is the same. If Toto is not there, what is a film? What is a film if Toto is not there? You know, I mean, if you had another adult, it would not be the same. With children in a film, you get the best, and it's the most difficult. Because to take a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old kid and tell him what to do, go try. Even like as a normal kid, he's not going to do it, but tell him to just cry or recreate a scene, and you're going to see this is one of the best for that. So, new wave, a social critic, a lot of new wave, and everyday life is so important because you don't tell extraordinary things. You have people living in everyday life, eating, cooking, looking for a job. You have the life of an adult who is a bicycle trying to find a job to make a living. And you can realize we're talking about real life. And real life is very important. These are the 5 or 6 people, if you really want to, think about like looking at more film. Amir Farrokh is really the most prominent, the well-known, Farrokh too. Darius Merwish made a film in 1969 called The Cow. It's the same kind of idea. It's a small village, and there is a cow. And the cow becomes the center of the village. And that you can say, how is he going to, and he does such an extraordinary job. This is one of the most important jobs because from 1969 we opened to different things. Amir Naji made a movie called The Runner that I watched a couple of times not too long ago. And Jafar Panahi, of course, Jafar Panahi is the example of Iranian cinema. He won for, he was just an accident. He won the Cannes Film Festival, and he was not long ago. He went to prison multiple times in Iran. Would never leave Iran. All the time produced film from prison, and directly is an extraordinary man of like fighting for freedom. So you have these few guys, and of course you have Mossem Kalbaf. I showed a film called Gabé. I don't know if you remember this film if you were in Montclair. With a great film director too. But there is not too many. You have a group of people. These are the group of the strong people of group Iranian and often some of them are not living there anymore. And some of them are dead. These are the few films. If you have to show or like watch some of the film, I think these are really the good film. We're gonna watch this. Like in another 2 weeks, we'll watch this film. Actually, we watched The Taste of Sherry and The Separation, both of the film here. Did you ever watch The Separation? And The Separation is a film you can watch 2, 3, or 4 times. Absolutely. It's so real, and so rich, and so what great cinema is. And Taste of Sherry is like one of the most beautiful travel stories. Anybody watch Taste of Sherry before? No. Just to give you an idea, it's somebody who's thinking about dying, killing himself. And he's taking the road and asking people, how is he going to do that? Look at the subject. We're talking about existential. These people are existentialists. They are not just like filmmakers. They're very highly intellectual. They know everything, and they are very well grounded. So Amir Farrokh Hashemian is a very great one. And The Separation is one of the. The Separation was like one of the great shocks for my filmmaking life because it was so unbelievably made. And it was just an accident. The last film of Panahi was really great. This is the movie of today. And for him, before we start the film, Majid Maiji is not as known as the greatest Iranian filmmaker. He doesn't have this kind of aura. He is not Kiarostami. He doesn't have this, but he has a sense of poetry and connection with people and the world who is so exceptional. Like a little bit, Cinema Paradiso, Giuseppe Tornatore. It's the only film that he made, really with a big thing, Cinema Paradiso. That's it. But he made it. So this is a little bit kind of like this. I mean, people like to just say that it's crowd pleaser, but it's more a very good quality film going the poetic and the humanity. Other film that he did, The Color of Paradise. If you want to watch something that he did too, and Baran, there are the 2 or 3 films that are very well known that he did. But the film by itself, The Children of Paradise, are really his film the best known. Born in Tehran is a figure of the film, and really The Children of Heaven was the first Iranian film nominated for Academy Award, so 1997. And like I was saying, it's a non-professional actor. The storyline is always children, but with their sensibility, a lot of social content, and a message all the time of a divine intervention or something like this. But you're going to watch the film, and we'll discuss it after. It's a really kind of very powerful film. So this is some frame. Most of the frame are the children. 95% of the film is about children, so the strong scene are about children. So let's watch it, and it's a story. You're going to see how we start, and you start on a very simple frame of a pair of shoes, and how is this going to go to the film. It's difficult to say because whenever I say and I listen to people talking and they say, this is a film about that, it can be anything. It's not what the film is about, it's what and how somebody is going to make something out of it. I can say, this is a film about blah, blah, blah. It means nothing. Because you can have 10 people, one of them is going to be a masterpiece, doing the same thing with the subject, and another one is going to make nothing out of this. So the talent is like, how do you put all the elements of cinema together to create, a great film? And this is a great film. So thank you for coming, and you're going to enjoy this film because it's like kind of very unusual, and we'll have a lot to talk about. So non-professional actors, remember, huh? All these people are non-professional, especially the kids. These two kids are like, I don't even know how they get these kids to do that. And long scene, huh? Not little scenes. It's not like saying 2 words. They have full dialogues, full emotion, connection with each other. It's really amazing. Yeah. So let's watch. Let's put this on. Alright, so what is your reaction, guys? Any reaction? This is such a typical foreign film are really so typical, and I want to say it again, by the film that we are this year in the Academy Awards, the foreign film, it could be like, if it was just an accident, it was just an accident, sentimental value of Joachim Trier was really absolutely wonderful film. The Secret Agent by the Chilean director. All these films who are not Americans are just very different because they are not carry-on action. This is really what you have to see when we talk about a film today, production world. What a big film, it's like one battle over the next, and anybody watch this, was like, it's just a battle. It's a battle. It's action, action, action. When you take action away from a film, you have to carry something else to come up. And what comes? It's humanity. And it's what it does. That is really what. So, of course, reaction of, if I had to show this in high school, let's suppose, what they're going to say? It's slow, nothing is happening, but everything is happening. Everything is happening, but not in a primitive way. And I'm very I get very upset because this idea of this primitive action, it's so prime today as what it is, what action is, it's what carry a screen, it's what easy to watch. Same thing with TV, things have to happen. If nothing is happening, nothing is happening. But this idea of people, especially these children, and everything, the whole movie is like, what is not happening? But what is happening really inside is really prime, and this is what good film has, and it's what a risk you take by doing a film. You did not take a risk in 1997 because in 1997 you could get an award for a film. Today, this will not even go anywhere, absolutely nowhere, because it does not have what the masses of people want. And if it's, even like Cinema Paradiso, even all these films, they are really made on what the humanity and the contact of the people. So you have humanity between, but you have social statement, and you have messages. It's a film which is super rich, but by peeling everything around and going to the core of it. Production values are not so important. How do you catch two people or two kids looking at each other, and how do you catch the essence of the film and the essence of humanity? That is what talent is. Two things we do in every film. Every filmmaker think about it. They think about the beginning and the end. And the beginning and the end are so crucial in this film because they are, the first shot is about the shoe, becoming the first thing. We are repairing the shoe, and it takes time to repair the shoe too. You can see it. He sew it up. He does this. And the last shot, there is no shoes anymore. I don't know if you see his feet in the water. So it's like, of course it's an Iranian film, but it's a Middle Eastern film, like with this idea of suffering. What do you do for the people you love? And how much competition and winning is not what winning the first prize, it's what winning for the other. And that I find is beautiful because he does not want to be first. Doesn't mean anything for him to be first. Even when he's first, he's crying. So this is like already in a world of like, in this world of, world of the American world where winning is so important, where competition is everything. Him not really happy winning, it's something it's not what he wanted. He wanted to do this for his sister. And the strength of love at the end, it's what it is. The softening of his feet on the water, and the softness of the water, because water is everywhere in all the film. I don't know if you saw, there is a rain, there is a drink of water. These are not things who are made because they feel like doing it. He has all the time a meaning. The poetic of the film has a lot of nature scenes. The nature is really very important. The town is always on this narrow road, a lot of the narrow road and running. So all this is like what a film director thinks. When he says, he's gonna say, he could have said, okay, the kids are running in a big boulevard. It doesn't do the same effect to having this little narrow road who are going to one direction, and there's nobody there, and he's going. He goes there because this is what he has to do. He has to bring the shoes, and he has to exchange the shoes. This determination, this strength, but all carried by love. The caring of his sister, what does he have to do for it? And from his father, this little kid, Ali, is like fantastic, He takes his father, it's a little bit of the bicycle thief was the same. I don't know if you remember the bicycle thief, like when the father lost the bicycle and it's gonna be, it's him, the kid, Bruno, will take him and he said, come, I'm gonna just show you, we're gonna go there, we're gonna do that. This is where the strength of these little human beings that in general we don't consider children as being a strength in the film. In most of the time, we see them as dependent, but here on this film, he's very strong. He carries the film, the same thing in the bicycle thief, and he shows the road. He shows the road to his father. He gives him the job to his father. He just helped him. He helped his father. He helped his sister by trying to do something. He has such a great, charisma of like, how is he gonna do? And in a society where these people are poor, poor, middle class or really lower poor, in these really big houses you see around, and these people who have money, the value of their family, how they care about each other, all this is what the message is so strong, so simple and so strong, and it really carries the film. But if you have in a film messages like this who are so strong humanly, with very little, and this beautiful of images who are so poetic. I mean, one of the great scenes is like when they do bubble, and I mean, you remind me, and I'm not so old, but I remember I used to make bubble when I was a little kid, You know any kid doing bubbles today? No, they don't do, they completely do the game, So you have a completely different, this really kind of like the beauty of their relationship, how they relate to each other and how they care to each other, and how they sleep, in this room with the father trying to find a job. But there is still a balance of society. How do they help each other? I mean, religion too is something really extraordinary too, And I mean, I'm not, I know Muslim religion, but not like being so close. But you watch this, you don't have the same vision when you don't know anything about it. And you are, you are exposed to this. You just realize how human, whenever to come to a next level, how they help each other, how they care about each other, how religion can bring something good. In this case, it does. How he breaks the sugar, how he brings the community, how his son is carrying everything. They are really very, very strong message. And this message, what's interesting is that when you watch a movie like this, it does not come on a superficial level. You watch it, and it comes to a different level. It grows in you, and it makes you feel a certain way, and it's gonna come back on you. It's gonna just always make you feel certain ways. But this idea of connection between people, and how we can change the world because of this movie are carrying it. And what is this? It's connection with people, even if the language and the connection between them and the dialogue are not so developed, but they are small, but they carry a lot of things. They carry a lot of great things. I mean, the principal of the school is really, he's a principal, but he will take advice. He will listen to his teacher, and there is kind of such a humanity in it. And when the little girls are in school and she fell, you can see she goes, the teacher is caring. There is a lot of messages who goes through, but not not like on an obvious level, on a very, very subtle level. And you finish a film like this, if let's suppose you never saw anything about Iran and you don't know anything about Iran. Iran is not just crazy people running after each other, killing each other. It's what most of the people will. When you watch this, you open your head that people are people. And this is something which is very, very strong. These are messages who are strong. And a film like this, I mean, of course it will not happen, but showing to school, even so it's difficult, they will be exposed to things like this, to look at what the little kids are going through, and how the teachers are dealing with them. And how, is it so different? It is different in a lot of ways, but it's very common. It's common to our life and how we are living. This is really the point where the essential point is how the good film means, or what a good film means. It means it carry and it question essential things. It's not frivolous, it's not people running after each other. I want to see, I saw Battle for the next one, I saw Sinners, I saw a few of the films who are getting all these awards. And for me, they are just mediocre films. They are just upgraded TV film. A lot of action, a lot of movement, you know, political statement, a lot of horror. You have to fill up the screen. People like, you know, sentimental value, like the Norwegian film, is a very slower film, more intimate, a lot of more dialogue, you know, more like, you know, reflection. And we go in 1957, Bergman, what strawberries that you're gonna watch it is. We go back, we go and we look at ourselves and who we are through the image of this composition, the composition of softness and beauty. And there is not much of like rough angle on it. There is no rough, none of these people are difficult to carry. All of them are kind of, you know, likable. Even like the gym teacher who doesn't want to do anything with his kid. He say, you lost your, he see him and he say, okay, you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do this for you. And when he wins, he's very happy for him. Actually, he's more happy for him than the kid himself, you know. So you have all these characters who are like, you know, soft. There is nothing who is really harsh in this film. It's what they call this a crowd pleaser, but I think it goes over that. It goes in the level of it's a human. It's human, and this is really very rare. Very not at that time, of course. Like up to when you go back to the other film, but today is very rare. If you show something like this, is people cannot stand the length and the slowness. And I can tell you, even me, who is like really a cinephile, I've been watching millions of films. Even if I don't watch a lot, I get away from this softness and this slowness and this connection, because we are so brainwashed, you know, by this fast pace. They were saying two things which is interesting. I found that, you know, literature, because you know, it's my first, I studied literature when I was in school. And they say that the literature student today, they cannot read a 500 pages book. Because if it's not something happening at the middle, they cannot read it. This is how people are choosing to study literature. Something with film. Film professors say that they cannot show a film with a little bit too length because the kids will not watch it. They will not be able to have the attention for it. And he says, the guy who was, you know, the professor of literature, he said, when you read a book, it's like when you live life. None of them is going to be going one after the other. You have lengths of time where you have this time to get in or to reflect or even to be bored. It doesn't matter. It's a part of the product. And that is something you can sell anymore. You cannot sell this in movies today. You cannot sell something with too reflecting, because people, you know what will say? They say, well, it's too depressing. That's the first thing they're going to tell you. What are you talking about? You're talking about things that are depressing. Or it's too slow. Or it doesn't really engage me enough. But instead to give the space to be engaged and be connected, they go. Don't they do the same thing with people? They do the same thing with people. if they meet somebody, in the dating system that I hear from my daughter or other people, if it doesn't go right away, it's finished, so there is always this kind of thing, the space, the connection, the caring, the communication. We are not in this era. So it's all these people it's very interesting, people who come to watch these films are most of the time older. Older, I say 35 and over, or 40 and over. No, even people who are going to film school, even people who are going to study film are not going to watch this kind of film because it's not a language of today, and that is very sad. But it's what the message is.
It's like today people watch movies or shows or read to be entertained, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is not meant to entertain. It's you get into the world.
Yes.
It draws you in, and you feel like you know the characters in a really deep way, and you really know this little boy. You feel what he feels. His sister, like you just want to help him, right? Like I was hoping that one of the adults would like step in and just like help the kid, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Or give him the shoe.
Yeah, give him the shoe, and it's like
shoes.
it's the beauty of it. Is that it makes you feel. It makes you think.
Yes.
Right? It pulls you and grips you.
And this is like, this is what I say, when people, and often I'm a grown man, I cry in film. I cry a lot. Whenever I see something, whenever something touches me, I cry. People say, "Are you crying?" Yeah. And this is like, it touches you, but not in a corny way. It touches you in a very beautiful way, in a human way, and it's what makes good art. Art is what it is. It's like, it just re-questions things, and you carry it with you. I watch this like about 3 or 4 times or more, and every time I have the same kind of feeling of like, wanted to be with his kid, like you say, wanted to care about him, wanted to help him, but being engaged in it. As most of the people who find this kind of like too disconnected and boring somehow.
I especially liked the music,
Yeah.
how it added like suspense, sort of like a bike ride, I was like shaking because I could feel fearful for them and the way the cinema showed them going downhill and all that. But also other scenes, just beautiful music that went along with the feeling, like the bubble scene or other things. Yeah, I thought that excellent choice of music.
Very beautiful. And even the story when he goes to drink water, things were very simple. It's when I talk about simplicity, is like the core of great film. Because when Ali goes, when they call him Garner, and he goes drink water, and he says to his father, "Do you want to drink?" Just that. Do you want to drink? It's like such a caring feeling. Most of the people will say, "What is this?" He's asking. No. It's not just asking him if he wants water. It's more than that. And this is like this kind of sensibility that we are losing. We are losing. Of course, there is some great film. But what happened too is the great film are not coming here, very rarely. And they are cutaways, they're not really very prime. And it's why this film can be shown, because they become classics. And they can be shown 5 million times. When we see the running, of course, some of you show 400 blows many times, like I saw. When you see the running too, the running is the same. The running is going, they are running. It's not like, oh, it's too fast, just cut. No. They let him run, and he wants to run, and he goes, and he doesn't go, and the other kid is falling, and we feel with him. These are things that you cannot, it's not things that we absorb today in the world. And this is why we are, I want to expand a little bit, but I think it's why we are in a mess. It's a society who is not reflecting. We are not a reflecting society. And even in Europe, they like to reflect, but we're not reflecting enough. We're not, because it will be different. The world will be different. And in cinema, we are really in trouble. We really are in trouble. So it's for this, when I show this, or I show like the next film is gonna be like Tokyo Story, which is like another masterpiece of cinema in 1952. We have 2 people sitting down in a room, and we have a camera, steady camera, and we feel it. And that is something that that people, I don't know, that is not there anymore. This language is not there. But the poetic of the language is beautiful here. Poetic is so beautiful. And these kids have like this. This is another thing. He had to take 100 kids to find the right kid. Both of them are like such a beautiful young little kid. So young. I mean, I don't know him too. I find he cries. You feel really he's crying. When he's the worst is when he's winning and he's crying. So that's so great. Everybody's jumping around and taking pictures, and the poor kid is crying because. And when he goes to see his sister at the end, she's sure that he lost, you know. And we don't know. He didn't say anything. We see the father coming and taking the shoes. So the father bought the shoes, gonna bring it to the girl, but he's still with the pain of not having. He didn't do what he was supposed to do for his sister. And really this last scene when he put his feet, and you see his feet who are really pain from all this run and this water and this the golden fish going there. These are visionaries. This is like the director who decides like, I want this to finish the film. He could have it like many different ways, I say all the time. He could have the kid coming in and say to his sister, oh yeah, I won, but you know, I'm gonna buy anything, another action, following of action. He could have done everything, but he left it very soft. And the softness of it is going back on him. I've been doing so much for his sister that he loves so much. Anything else on the production values, it could be the costume. We don't even look at anything. We're just looking at the art and the feeling of this kid going through that. And there is some action too. They are running. They're running a lot, you know, and back and forth, and back and forth. But it doesn't feel like it's, it feels like they are trying to get to something. But not specialized action.
There's also this big contrast between the entitled kid.
So, development of character, it's what each of these characters are so developed that you can make a story from them, and how they affect each other is another great thing, because they do affect each other. These are movies who are very human, because they are gray. They're not black and white. They have like all this gray area, and it's what we learn from a beautiful film.
I really felt like I was inside the movie. I lost
beautiful.
Myself.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
beautiful. I
So
couldn't
great.
move.
And I tell you, you're gonna, even if you watch it another 3 or 4 years, you will, you know, because films like this go back into your life. What my first impression when I watch something with so strong with me, I have always the same feeling, even if I know what's happening. That is something people say, you watched it already. No, I did not watch it already. I'm gonna watch it in a different way or a different time, but I know that emotionally I'm gonna be touched the same way, even if I know what's gonna happen. So it's like he has this secret tools, how things are touched.
Especially with foreign films where you have to read the subtitles. So I have to watch it again, so that I can look more at the facial emotions, the more of the acting.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'm getting better at learning to quickly read, but I still have to read. Right?
You get used to it. Everything is like.
I get used to it.
But it is. I say it like in the first Japanese film. I say, films are like a painting or like a book. You can watch them millions of times and always find something in it. I mean, why people are so bother me when they say, you watch it. I say, I watch it, and I watch it, and I rewatch it, and why not? Because it's such a rich film. I say, you're gonna watch, if you go to the museum, Picasso Museum in Paris, I went there maybe 200 times. Every time I go to see Picasso in the Picasso Museum, it's another experience. And it's the same painting. When I read a book or poetry that I love, it does the same thing. Why not film? Why film are so brought down to just a very basic entertaining and not really an art form? It's not really considered by some of people cinephile who love cinema as they are, but for most of the world it's not. It's entertainment.
And the color was fantastic. Every scene.
Yeah.
And then
This
the
is
back
shot,
alleys, like you
this
said.
is shot in 35 millimeter.
Oh, really?
It's a very big film. Lights, it's all natural lights. There is nothing who is like lighting from like this building. When you go to the city and you see these big trucks, there is no lighting. Lighting is all real. Only thing who might be is like the rain. They make fake rain if they want to do it, because there is a lot of rain on that movie. But basically it's really keeping the very, very natural part of the film. Very, very.
And you mentioned not knowing, not ever being to Iran, but just when they're racing and then they show them finishing across the lake or getting near the end, and you realize there's parks and it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
Yeah,
city.
It was
I mean,
beautiful.
Tehran, I don't know Tehran, I never went there, but I mean, I went to Amman, I went to a lot of different countries in the Middle East, and you're so surprised because you have an idea, we all have ideas
Yeah.
of what other people are, and we are wrong. 90% of the time you are wrong.
Yeah.
Because whatever you think and you think it is, it's never what you think it is.
Right. I
know?
think you think of the political situation and you don't realize
People.
the leaders are the ones who are the crazy people.
Sure.
The people
Sure.
in the countries
Yeah,
and the
they're
countries
crazy.
themselves.
Forgotten
like
that
It's
that.
fabulous.
Yes, they are like
And the scenes of the beauty of the land
and it's a very, very rich culture in Iran.
and
Iran has like the Persian culture of like,
Professionals.
poetry and
Oh,
reading
yeah.
and literature and architecture. It's so, but today if you go on the street and you ask somebody, what is Iran for you?
yeah.
The thing is, Ayatollah Khomeini is what Iran is, with somebody who's gonna kill us. That's what, and it's so sad because it's a part of education. It's just being educated and look at it. And like you say, you have the people on the street and you have these crazy madmen who want to kill everyone. They are different people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people don't make that distinction.
No.
And then they shy
Well, it's
away.
easier not to make
It's
it
easier.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You gotta
And it's
think.
like black and white. That's it. This is not good. This is
Forget
good.
it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is.
They just close their minds and it's
Excuse
not
me, I gotta
right.
go.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye-bye. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, it was great. I
Thank
so
you.
enjoyed it. Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right, guys. So listen,
I
now
don't
if
Great
I-
job.
At the end.
I mean, even like, I like that because it's like we can talk, that because it's such a small, even if it's full, you can have like really a discussion on this kind of, and it's great that you're coming, and,
Do you think the goldfish going to his feet at the end, there's something with that. Aren't goldfish like good luck?
they could, yeah, it's a good
In
thing for
some
the Iran.
cultures-
Yeah, there is a